Shot for goal. Shot for goal. Shot for goal. Shot for goal. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you might be tuning in from. And welcome to Shot for Goal. I'm Stefan Rampazzo, alongside my week-to-week co-host, Noah Brinkworth, bringing you all the action from across the globe of Ultimate. No, how you doing this week?
I'm doing good. I'm resting up and recovering from UK Nats and preparing, Steph, for us to go and fly out to Swiss Nats, which we're covering this weekend in Lausanne. We had a decent time. BN1 finished 6th in the end, which is, we had 5th last year, 6th the year before, so kind of where we were expecting we might finish up, but we obviously had appetites and eyes on a higher position, so maybe a tad bit of disappointment. We'll come to that in a minute, but I think we're going to start in the women's division.
Yeah, we'll start in the women's division. We will try and touch on a little bit on the other side of the pond, Pro Champs, and of course Swiss Mixed Nats before we finish up. But the meat of the program is taking us back to the city that everyone affectionately refers to as the Ham, or maybe just me, Nottingham. UK Nationals. We said women's division. Now, women's division, we both made our predictions last week. I think we both went okay towards the tail end. I may have had a miss in there on the way, but it really was the top four making their way through to the semis. Iceni, Bristol get right to the top of the heap. But do we want to start at finals day, or do you want to start working our way through the competition? No.
I mean, if you look at pool play, the real story was that Iceni smashed absolutely everyone. It went pretty much as expected, except for that we had Smog and Iceni getting through from Pool C, and then from Pool D, Bristol and Spice getting through. And there was some close games in there. Like if you look at the Smog LMU result, Smog barely got through that game. Slightly disappointing weekend for Smog. I mean, they, in that pool play stage, only got 4 points in Iceni. So Iceni day 1, 15-1 versus Bristol 2, 15-4 versus Smog, and then 15-2 versus LMU, giving up 7 goals. They were watching the film back on Saturday night, posted on their story, everyone around the projector, so taking it super, super seriously after just destroying everyone on day 1. And you wonder, can they be just as strong in the following day, beat this Bristol team with a returning Molly Wedge from the World Games? And, well, turns out they were very, very strong. And this is, the big story is Iceni elevates themselves above the parity of the UK Nationals Women's Division and puts themselves right at the very top. Looks like we lost Steph Patso, our lovely friend. But yeah, it was I think for a few years we've had massive parity in the women's division, and different winners since the pandemic. 2022 it was LMU, and then Iceni managed to Bristol in 2023, I believe, and then Bristol got it done in 24. So Iceni, the first team to make it to get 2 wins post pandemic. They look real strong. And they had a kind of nationals where you're thinking, is this going to be the start of a streak at the top of UK Ultimate? If they're, let's have a look at that result in the final. In the final, it was 15-6, and it was 6-1, 9-3. It was not a close game at really any point. 5-0, I seen it started. So, yeah, I mean, when London teams aren't winning, Steph. It is a little bit of a bubble, I think. Like so much of the talent gets pulled towards London that it kind of just does feel like a London team should win most years. ITini are the dominant London team, and I wonder if in the back half of this decade we'll get back to what we saw in the 2000s and the 2010s, where ITini were the clear favourite.
Yeah, I mean, they really did put it all out there. I thought Bristol looked good getting to the finals. They kind of had a similar path to Iceni, being able to, get all their wins. Maybe not as convincingly, but still convincingly. They looked good the whole way through. But boy, oh boy, when they faced up against Iceni definitely showed their true might. They looked like a very polished team. I think I had said, maybe Bristol needs to use their top end more, but I think Iceni's top end were better than Bristol's top end. Their depth was certainly better than Bristol's. And Iceni looked like a team poised to do some damage out on the European scene. They were great in the final. Noah, I think we might be able to get a look at some of the highlights from our final, and we can talk over. But they went out to a 5-0 lead. Noah, here's a bit of the action as we get going. 5-0 before Bristol could even get on the board. It felt like everything was hitting.
That was hand booth there to Hannah Leong in the end zone. Leong so good at taking down high discs, and there was just great performances from multiple lines in the Iceni for the Iceni team. They, I don't think it's a massively different looking roster from year to year. It's players that aren't there that is kind of more interesting, like Lucy Barnes moving to Yaka, who's been a leader for that team for a very, very long time. And we get a captaincy run of Maddie Leong, who's been strong, 2 U24 cycles, and was right up the top of their stat sheet. She got 8 assists, 1 goal. Great distributor for any team she plays on.
Yeah, it's, we'll watch through this. Wondering, Grabco, if we could get a little less volume on these highlights, if it's possible. Thank you very much. But it really was a joy to watch Iceni go out like that. In the end, we called this a slow blowout, because Bristol did show a little bit of fight at the end. They did not just, cower away and let Iceni fold them up and send postal, but they never did enough to get back in the game to believe that they were going to win, but they really dragged the points out, made it really hard for Iceni to be able to continue to break against some fantastic grabs. That one there, impeccable. But there was just no turning back. The 5-0 lead, some of the points took longer. Yeah, Bristol found a bit of grind. But Iceni, I think I'm excited about what they are taking over the European Tour. I think they are, the outside bubble, even though they're a top 4 seed. I think they are getting a little bit less respect, I guess, potential to actually win it or go, semis and deeper. But I think their performance this weekend should be turning some heads for the likes of Shout, Kroot, Jinx, and Moon Cup that are probably getting a little bit more looks when people are making their picks and assumptions of who may well win.
Yeah, and I think beyond even the European series, all of these teams at 2025 Nationals were looking ahead to the World Ultimate Championships. And it's Bristol and Iceni will be taking the guaranteed bids. We could have more bids fall down. And if they do, the next team up would be Spice, who beat Smog in a very compelling 3-4, actually. I got to watch a fair chunk of that game, and they were really evenly matched teams. Spice just, I think, having a little bit more depth, and the top end of Kate Gibbs and Heather Gibson. And I saw Marina Sillington had just the game of her life in that one. Made some crazy layout grabs. So Spice in the third position, ready to collect a bit if it's passed down. No fantastic seeding to be passed down in the women's division. I think it was disappointing performance across the board in 2022. I think Iceni specifically were disappointed in how they played and how they finished. And they'll be looking to beat all of the other UK teams as they failed to do in 2022, but also climb way up the order, get into the top half, maybe make it to the top 16 and be looking at those pre-quarter phases to make it right into the business end of that tournament.
And that's the stuff. Women's division wrapped up. Iceni take it. Them and Bristol going to Worlds and to Europeans. A couple others at Euros as well. I believe Spice is there. Will be there. But let's take it to the Open division, Noah. No surprise at the top end. As far as my predictions go, I think there's a couple people from Smog who came over like, you thought we would lose to Smash and we won. I was like, yeah, I know. Okay, I got to make it count. I got to stick my neck out for a few. Smash D or Smashed, whatever we call them, did get smashed themselves by Smog. Smog played pretty good, I thought, the whole way through. On stream, they got pumped by Chevron. Ollie Newton, who I definitely do know. I remember last week I said, who? But I just kind of had to see the face. Great young player. He didn't have the greatest game on stream, I'll say that. He had a tough one and a couple rough turnovers. But regardless of those, Chevron really just outplayed Smogged in every facet of the game. But the most compelling story in the Open division was once he made semifinals, was the bronze games and those two semis. I think there were two different approaches to how the semis were taken on. And Smog took on the semi trying to say, hey, let's see if we can get in and get the guaranteed bid and, make some big noise here. And maybe he fought a bit too hard for it. I think Bristol went into their semi going, hey, let's win our bronze medal game, which of course means that they were looking past the game, which meant they were not at all results focused for their semi. They were more than happy to take what was the expected loss. They were the underdogs and happy to take it and just, get the formality over, get their O-line off the field as soon as they got lost a single possession and Clapham beat them up quick. So that set up a nice semi between Bristol and Smog, and then, of course, the final, the classic Chevron and Clapham. Anything else to say about the pools or the journey there before we break down that? We'll start with the bronze.
Yeah, I mean there is something compelling in pool play, and it's a start of the theme of the weekend, and it's that despite Alba and Bristol played a really close game on stream, 14-13 to Bristol. And Alba were right in it. A windy game that kept the game close. There was a nice highlight post on ULTI.TV where the disc gets macked up into the air, like way out of the pitch, and then comes back in for the Alba score. But yeah, Alba just 1 point away in that game that they thought would be the kind of game to go to semis against. Bristol lose it and kind of capitulate. They lose 15-9 to Kapow. And Alba, if you look into the 5-8 bracket, finish 8th. So someone was asking last week about who's getting the spoon between Leeds and Kapow. Neither of them. It was Alba, and it was a real tough time for Scottish teams. If you look across the divisions, even northern teams in general, there were 7 WUC bids dished out. 6 of those teams coming from the southern region. Only 1 from the north and none from Scotland. So Scotland with a little bit of soul searching. I think you'll see players try and make the journey down to the likes of Chevron, maybe even to Clapham, maybe to Lemmings if a bid gets passed down. But yeah, it was a tough time for Alba. We'll talk about the teams and the Scottish teams and mixed as well later. And a nice weekend for Kapow getting 6th. I think that's their best nationals finish in a little while, Steph. Let's talk about the top 4 though.
Yeah, that Bristol Alba game was at the start of the tournament. So I think the third round or whatever went to Universe Point.
Yeah.
Alba gave up a heartbreaker, kind of came back in it, gave a heartbreaker to the team that got third. For them to lose on Universe and then just free fall down to eighth place is really uncoiling for Alba. And you're right, soul searching is the only way to look at it. One loss hurts, but then when that just opens the door to the slippery slope, that kind of sucks when you're going in, eyeing a top three finish, legitimately so, and as soon as that is kind of taken away, that the wheels come falling off. That's a tough one for Alba. But top four. So we watched the final, but at the same time, the semi was going on. Bristol, as mentioned, I was walking
The 3-4.
Yeah, the bronze game. Sorry, the 3-4. What did I say?
Semi.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay,
The bronze game. I walked in that day and saw a couple of the Bristol guys, Chris Barrett, and he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna take Smog down for the bronze and get that WCC spot." And I was like, "You still got a game right now. You're playing Clapham next." Yeah, we're here to take the bronze. And again, as I mentioned off the top, that is how it went. By all accounts, that game was a cracker. There was at least 4 lead changes to my memory, back and forth. Smog with even a late lead on Bristol, but the Rats get the job done. They came over and let me know on multiple occasions over the course of the weekend that they've been paying attention.
Steph, have you ever got more chat at a tournament from predict? I mean, I know you've done this more than me, but the amount of people who stopped me, I were like, "Oh no, you
I heard what you said.
Team.
I heard what you said about my team." I get it a lot, Noah. So welcome to the club. It's something you got to take on if you're gonna put your face out and start making predictions of how other people play this wonderful sport. They're gonna let you know that they disagree with you, and when you get it right, you look like a genius, and when you get it wrong, they sure as hell gonna let you know. But in the end, as far as my predictions go with Bristol, I did hit the nail on the head, and the Rats are going to Limerick, and the Rats, the 31 seed, I think I said 22 before, 31 seed are going to Euros, and they won that all-important bronze medal. They are UK Nationals bronze medalists, and they got the job done. Moving into the final, a classic, just Chevy Clapham.
I have wait, before on the 3-4, I have a few players to shout out because I talked to a Bristol player and they said Gabe Wolf, they said Robin Ellis Cockcroft, long-time Devon player, and they said Chris Allen and Warnock, who are right at the very top of that roster, all players that contributed really well. I think Bristol are really smart at running their lines tight in these big game situations. So they would have got their best players on the pitch all the time. I was really impressed with everything I saw of Alex Bradshaw this weekend as well after his U24 cycle. Hasn't been playing the game a long time, but super solid, lefty handler, hucks it well as well. So yeah,
good
shout out to Bristol.
Good shout outs. I agree with all of them. We'll repeat what Benji said about Gatewood Wolf, bad lid. Change the hair. However, great player, played well. And yeah, I thought Chris Allen was best on field, best on grounds for them. I think he was unstoppable going deep when he wanted to take deep space. He was doing it at liberty. If the throws were on, he was coming down with, if you kept it inbounds and floaty, he was coming down with it more than 9 times out of 10, it seemed.
And maybe that's why their ranking speed is so low, because he's been suffering injury this year. So he's come back at the business end. I know he had a cast on his forearm and wrist, so come back at the business end for Bristol, and they get the Euros, they get the WOC qualification. It's going to be the amount of sign-ups to the Bristol trial, Steph, let me tell you. Floods of invitations. People,
they're coming.
Yeah,
they're coming.
Coming down, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with this.
All you got to do is get a world's bid, and everybody's knocking at your door. Okay, finals time. We can probably run some clips here. Grabco, maybe a tiny bit of volume, but not deafening. But we'll have a look. I mean, Clapham and White. Clapham were being very Clapham in this game. I thought it was as good as we've seen them this year. Their lines with a little bit more fixed to them, a little different than I had expected. With the likes of Connor Mickael, Will Rollage, I think Ash Yo, fixtures on the D line. They've got a bit more of a uh, regulation and frequency to when people cross over and who crosses over. So they get a bunch of D liners who cross over with more frequency. Their O line looked good with their regular wedding crew. Justin and Ollie not there, amongst others. James Mead wasn't there. There's that beautiful hammer from Will Rollage to Ash Yo.
No McCulloch.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I got him. I said it wrong on the stream too. Oh goodness, McCulloch. That just that, and I did say to Connor after the game, I was like, I got that one wrong. You even because I used to call him McCulloch, and in U.S. Open, Connor's like, it's McCulloch. You say it wrong all the time. And I was like, you did that the layout by Conrad Wilson, impeccable. But I talked to Connor after the game. I was like, I called him Ashio this time. I didn't even say his name right, but I swear he looks like him, just with a bit more burl. And I thought it was him again there, or maybe my brain is just programmed to believe that nonsense after saying it once. Anyways, Clapham got ahead, stayed ahead. Chevron didn't play poorly.
It's like they were really conservative in the game. I thought like there was a couple of possessions where they went like 40 passes, and we know that post 20 from MMA the turnovers coming. But sometimes the turnover just didn't come, and they converted some real nice patient offensive holds.
Yeah, 44 passes the one. There's a 24 pass score. They did it multiple ways. I think how do you reduce that pass count? You got to take some throws with a bit more range to them, look deep more. But when they tried that, Clapham were better than them deep. They had the matchups. They were good at taking away the pull plays coming down. Defensive pressure, like the Clapham match D is phenomenal. They match up really well. You look across the board, how many athletes and refined players they've got out there just trying to keep pace against, and it's something. I think the EUCF pools were released just yesterday. Moon Clapham is going to be a pool play game, and you still got to give advantage Moon, but I do like what I'm seeing with Clapham. Sean Colfer, I think, is settling in now. Chris Artabello will be there. You'll get the yin and the yang. Probably the first time they'll be able to combine their forces of rage and calm all in one. I think anyone who's counting Clapham out is foolish. I think everybody who follows the European circuit knows that they are very, very capable of winning Euros, and I thought they put a good foot forward this weekend in Nottingham.
Well, we did see a little bit of the yang of Artabello already this season with the confrontation with Morgan Hibbett back at London Invite. Getting a little heated with his former co-coach on the sideline. But yeah, I like how this Clapham team's shaking up. I think that their looser lines in the preseason has allowed them to play this game with the considerations to whether or not the team was playing offense and whether or not the team was going up or downwind. I thought that there were some great performances in there as well. Conrad got that layout block returning the favour after he got layout blocked earlier in the game by Roger Williams. I thought Lexi Long had a brilliant game as a distributor, like a core rock centre handler. He often plays that role, but played it in a more aggressive and more consistent way than I'd seen before. Made a couple great layout catches as well, and looked really elusive in his handler movement. I thought we saw great stuff out of coming back from Will Rowledge. He's coming from strength to strength, recovering from injury. And yeah, I've said many good things about Rana Sarin already, but he was phenomenal in the game. He's a player who I think who's suited perfectly to a windy game. He was also creating just so much movement that was pulling defenders away and creating easy unders for Clapham. So, yeah, I think very impressed by his play. And I think that Clapham are going to have a good chance against Moon. And we saw Steffel, a bit of a spoiler for Pro Champs, but a certain Dan Demarais did pick up a little injury there and wasn't on the field for Machine. We'll see if he can recover in time.
Glute
He'll be back,
injury,
you think?
so he says. Yeah, he said in the interview he said he'll be back for regionals over there, so before nationals, before ECF. But we'll see. It's something to keep an eye on. Good shout outs. I wanted to say Sam Criddle had a really good semi, as did Tempest, picking up 4 goals.
Tempest is fast, man.
Yeah,
It's like always someone running across the screen like twice as fast as everyone else. And
I still got
seems
2
to always
goals in
be
the final
Tempest.
as well. I really like Ethan Morel. He's like a slippery little, I don't know, grub, I guess. I love the way he pivots on the mark. He kind of pivots through whoever's marking him really well, where he's kind of slipping instead of hitting. But I do like his throwing stance and what he does on the pivot.
It's the old Justin Ford and one pivots. You gotta have someone there to take his place.
Yeah, and I think I like all your call-outs for Clapham. Josh Briggs is just another one I want to say. He's turning into a great rock handler. He threw some deep backhands even this tournament, which of course we know he's capable of, even though he's got the mega laser forehand that we key off on a little bit more often. But yeah, I think big shot. And Oscar Modiano as well. And finally, Tom Abrams. I think I'm giving the vet some love here, but Tom Abrams was great again. He had no turns, a goal, an assist, and a block in the final. Always there. He had his block was huge. The D running shoulder to shoulder, I think, with Seb Allen, and kind of got around and took it high. So yeah, big shout outs to all those players. Let's move into the mixed division. Mixed, we only streamed 2 games, Noah. One of them, the very first one, Heck versus BN1. Now, what the hell was going on out there? I want to throw up a clip here, and you know, I'll talk us through it, and then maybe you can tell us. You were playing awesome defense. I had you on ISO cam. I was on the sideline here. I was yes, Noah, yeah. I was cheering for you. You had a head on a swivel. You picked things up. Look at that face of determination. Noah Brinkworth. Everything gets going, moving it upfield. Nah, you know, Skelton. Higgert. Noah, you're right there. You might have caught the goal. You didn't, but still, the celebration here. Now, here's Benji for the call.
For a game that's only 3 points in.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how Cousins caught it because Brinkworth was in the way, so I couldn't quite see. But it's good to see that any sunburn that he earned out at U24s in Logroño has clearly long since gone.
Benji.
Okay,
Look, I haven't watched the game back.
No, break it down.
But
What the hell was going on? You were that excited about a score?
Yeah, I was. I mean, this game mattered a lot for us. I'll talk a bit more about that before. But in this point, I just previously called the guy out on the sideline, get the game advisor over. He says the guy's out.
Hang on. We might be able to play this clip while you're talking over it. We might have this one as well.
Do we have this one?
Yeah, we do.
Oh my god, look at the production value. Rob Grabko. And so, I mean, you're not going to get a great view from there. I could give the emphatic out call. Game advisor comes over, says, and as rarely they do, game advisors, gives his opinion that the player was on the line. Let's have a look at it. I mean,
he's on the line. Looks out to me from here, and a game advisor agreed.
Game advisor agreed, and we just send it back. And look at I don't like to see that
dismay on Noah. And so this score, there was a little bit of vengeance left in the tank. Is that what it was?
That's exactly what it was. And there was vengeance from last year as well. We got pumped by Heck last year. We were terrible in that game, 15-9. And to be honest, the game didn't go fantastically from that point. I can't lie, Steph.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Noah. You're a mild-mannered, maybe not quite soft-spoken, but such a polite young man. And then one bad call, and you are a raging animal on the field, ready to go into Jersey tornado, and I'm here for it. I love it. It was one of my favorite moments of the whole weekend. And if you thought you were going to get through this show without us making mention of it, you're dreaming. So there you go. Apparently that game.
I still yet to watch to watch that clip. I was head in hands there, Steph. So
there it is again. There it is. There's no again. Look at that determination. No, that game apparently 1 goal difference either way would have put one of the two of you in instead of Sheffield Steel. Is that right?
This was kind of the story of the Saturday, Steph. Our pool over in the mixed division. I said it was between us, Steel, and Heck, and any of us could make it to the top. The odds off anti-favorite was Steel in that equation, coming as the new team coming on the block. But early in the day, first round, Steel get the 2-goal win against Heck. A bit of an upset. We were playing right next to them, getting thrashed by Deep Space as usual. 15-8, which is relevant. We then go play Steel. We beat them 15-13. They were a great outfit, played some great offense. I don't think they had the depth to put many breaks up against us, but we didn't get as many breaks as we should have, and it was only 15-13, and there was a real threat of Steel taking that one down and getting the 2 wins as well. But we go into that game with Heck, and as I always do, I'm one of those people who looks at the schedule and thinks about how many we need to win by and how. So
I passed you on the sideline, and you were asking me for live score updates. I was like, I don't know, and somebody else gave it to you in that moment. Anyways, go on.
So if Heck won by 3 or more, they go through to semis. If we win or we lose by only 1 goal, we go through to semis. And if we win, if Heck beats us by exactly 2. Then whoever got the most goals against Deep Space would go through. So we got 8 goals against Deep Space. Heck only managed 6. But Sheffield Steel were concurrently playing Deep Space on the other field. It ends up, we're 2 points down. I think it was 13-11, game to 14. So Heck has the chance to win by 3 and go through to semi-finals. We hold in that moment, and that means that Heck's knocked out. They're pretty dejected. They know all the scenarios, and then it's 13-12. If Heck score, then we could be knocked out. And we just completely don't mark a player. He runs straight deep. The flick goes. I mean, it's almost like I felt.
Slaughter came over to watch that. He's like, "Was it my fault?" And it may well have been. There was a miscommunication.
Complete blown coverage.
I will say that I went for a walk. That was my off round. I went and watched Clapham Smog. We're playing at that time. A couple other games. I think. Who's CJ? Smashed and Leeds were on a field that was actually a tight game. Blah blah. But I came back and it was in the heat of it. And I remember talking to Benji at the end. He's like, BN1 just didn't shorten their lines till like the last 3 points of the game. Like, if he was calling it, he said he would have, had that remedied at the start of the second half and played with a bit more urgency. That's your criticism from the commentary booth.
Steph, as a player who should have been not allowed to play in depth of that second half, I agree. We should have got, like, Aiden Slaughter's not an unfit man. He is talking about in the off-season trying to win a park run, which means running around in 17 minutes for a 5K. He had plenty of gas to go out on the field.
He should have been on more, for sure. I mean,
all of the points.
We don't need to get into exactly who, but for your coaching, for future reference.
We had to tighten there, but we also should have played better on the field.
You got to identify the games to go. You got to play the tournament right. You got to win the right games, and you got to put everything in to win those ones. Whether it be for the ranking, the potential for a bid, or the potential to just play a semi and have a chance at maybe winning or getting into a final. Anyways,
absolutely. To finish off that story, Steph. In the end, we lose by exactly 2. The only situation where neither of us could go through. Sheffield still get 10 against Deep Space, more than us, more than Heck. They go through on goal difference. We BN1 Heck beat the life out of each other, and we send each other both down to the bottom bracket. And Sheffield Steel, the upstart team, come in and go through to the semi-final, where, to be fair, they got promptly dismantled by Reading, 15-6 in that game. Reading looked, I walked over to see Reading score a convincing final goal.
And it was Deep Space who pumped Lemmings as well.
I think it was a little bit closer there, actually. Lemmings had a great game. I was watching more of that game, in fact. And it finished 13-11 Deep Space.
Yes,
so
it was
real close there. People talk about that Lemmings lost a lot of players, but I think they have some of what they need in there still. I think rock handlers like Isaac. Oh, what is his surname? Isaac and Nate Saunders. I thought that Alice Hodges was unbelievable and hit some ridiculous inside backhands as a lefty. And the Pantling twins, I think, are much tipped to be the most promising under 20 players on the male matching side. It just feels like they've got all of the best 18, 19, 20-year-olds in the country on that Lemmings team.
Well, that
and they're giving them a lot of time.
That bodes well for Deep Space for the years coming.
Yeah, bring it to 2020.
Once they
2029, they'll poach them away
again. Anyhow, for now, let's get to the final, because that was the final. It was awesome. Deep Space started well. They had 2 breaks in the first 7 points, going up 5-2, and we'll be able to run some highlights as we talk over this. But they go up big. There was a massive turning point, I thought, in this game. That's a Halkyard Huck, I think. Cadron, on the reception. Beautiful play straight into the corner.
Such a hard throw on the standing up as well.
Yeah,
how good was Phipps?
Phipps was really good too. I thought Ian Tate was really good too, the big fella. But Cadron, great catch and great, just boom, straight away. Defense coming, another one a friendly cut in front.
And this one, Sarah gets poached completely on the under. She's not usually start a player to chuck up a huck like this, but it was weighted perfectly for Millard. She had a great game, got a lovely layout.
How good was that double spin celebration? Spun the disc and the body. Now, Reading was done and dusted until the Nicole Lester injury, and thank God it wasn't a spinal. She was down for a long time. Everybody was worried. I think it was a rib. I also think she may have put herself into that situation. She kind of came charging into the pile there.
I think Lester has a bit of a rep for being a player who puts her body on the line with frequency.
Here's the finish. Is this the finishing touches?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Halkyard catching from Turner. Tate,
the most excited man in the world.
Tate rips his jersey up, but he just won a national championship. The big fella.
Must we?
Here through the commentary, but Leicester goes down, and Reading gets right back into this game. There's a long break. Reading end up breaking at 6-5 to make it 6-5, so 2 in a row there. A trade, then they break twice more before half and hold after half, and now they're up 9-7, 3 breaks to 2 after half, and looking good. Everything was starting to come together. I thought they were pretty rusty, clunky for the first half of the game. They started getting it going. Becky Thompson was playing really well. I thought her and Andy Lewis played really good in the backfield together. Sam Wilson opened things up a lot. Things were just starting to get going. One break against, okay. Then they hold and break twice. They are up 12-9 in a game that's max going to go to 15, maybe less. Time's running out. Everything's looking good. And then Deep Space just play, we ain't losing this shit. And they scored 4 in a row to win the game. Halkyard stepped up, Palmer stepped up, everybody contributed. Hannah Yorworth and Cadron connect, Steve Millard to Sarah Halkyard, and then we saw the game-winning goal there. All breaks, all one-turn breaks, so they got it and never gave it back. It was a clinical finish. Deep Space, they better hope they don't put themselves in that position too frequently, but a nice character building win for them. They did find themselves in that situation. They did find the spade and dug themselves out. That was class after, a hot start, a change of momentum, a lapse in energy, and then they found a way to win it. I thought it was a really good team win and good character building win.
Steph, I don't have much to add there. I think you've summed that up beautifully. It was just didn't look likely, but Deep Space decided not to win, and wow, did they play like it.
Decided not to lose.
They were on to lose. You're correct.
Yeah, good. Hey, listen, Noah, we should take a short break here.
Let's take a break.
We'll have a little look at what's happened at Swiss Nationals and talk a bit about Pro Champs when we're back. Shot for goal, Steph Patso, Noah Brinkworth back. And after a recap of UK Nationals, we're going to Lausanne this weekend. Noah will be there a day before me, but we'll both be there by Friday, ready for the action. Saturday and Sunday, we'll break down the field for you here. 16 teams, Zoo mixed, who are going to EUCF, despite some controversy getting in. Air, Solebang, Flying Cobras, Scarillas have broken into 2, Discorillas and Scarillazers. Fab have broken into 2, Fab X and Fabrique. Then you've got Panthers mixed, Wizards, Fly High 1, and then, of course, the aptly named Fly High 2. ZU's got a second team called Zebra, Wombat, FSL, and Hijack. We've got a streaming schedule we can share with you. And we'll talk a little bit about some of these teams. Now, last year's champs were... Where was it? Scarillas. And who did they beat? Fab mixed, and then am I looking at Spirit in mixed? I do think this is it could be Spirit, but then the results say 9th, 10th, and 11th. So I do think this is not Spirit, and its actual champs is Gorillas beat Fab mixed, and Wizards mixed 2 got third. But that is sorry for this, but that is in fact the Spirit scores. Here we go. Anyways, while I sort this out, Noah, any thoughts? Any of these teams? I know we haven't had rosters yet. We don't have rosters. They're on their way. I know we've seen some of these teams. We saw Zoo at Windmill. We saw Scarillas at G Spot. We've seen these teams around and about. Fab, of course, a great open women's team that come together and play some good mixed. Initial thoughts, teams that you think are going to be looking good coming into this one.
Well, I think that we've seen a bit of a rise of Solar Bang in the last few years. They were strong. The last time I was filming Swiss Mix, which I think was actually 2023, but they had some players who did cross over to that Zurich team who played at Windmill, and I think we've got to talk about ZU as well. They've had a real nice Windmill, got to the semi-finals there, and yeah, have also qualified for UCF Div 1. That's a team with, that has a lot of American influence, a lot of core Swiss players. They are going from strength to strength. So those are the two teams I think might be in the final. We've seen good things from Wizards out of Geneva from before teams, lots of heritage like Fab in here, Scarillas. We've got Panthers playing in the mixed division. And I think there's going to be some teams who come together who look a little bit different from the year-on-year teams because it's this WOC qualification year. There is one bid for the in the mixed division for Swiss teams available, I believe. So the winner here will take a tournament entry bid for WOC in Limerick, Ireland.
Yeah, all guns ablazing to win this tournament. I do have the results finally from last year. It was Fab Mixed beat Wombat Ultimate Willisau, and there is a Willisau team. Wombats beat another Fab Mixed B in the semi, and the team that won, Fab Mixed Hop, beat Free Speed Co-Ed in their semi. Free Speed we don't see here, which is interesting. No Basel team. They've been good. Just the open team re-qualified for the first time in a while for Europeans. I loved Fab. Fabulous are great. The double Hausers. I'll see if Laura Niederhauser and Olivia Hauser will be playing if they're there. I know that they'll have a strong female contingent behind them. The Fab open side have gone for youth. The likes of Bizat has been great. I'd love to see where Brunner and Siegenthaler are. They play for Free Speed more frequently. Scarillas, the Polmeyers, Scarillas, sorry, they are Panthers. The Polmeyer brothers and the Gadamians, who have been awesome. Scarillas, one of the best names in the business, one of the worst uniforms in the business. I've said that time and time again. Come at me or change your uniform, one of the two. But I'm looking forward to it. And I'd say if I had to pick a winner, I'm going to go... let me just look one more time at these names, but I think I'm leaning at Zoo Mixed have got to be the favorites with the European bid after winning Windmill. If they don't win it, like Bart Simpson, I may be eating my shorts, but I gotta say Solibang's gonna be looking good. I thought they were good 2 years ago. Panthers Mixed and Fab's top team give me some hope. Anything you want to say about that?
I think that I'm gonna go Solar Bang. I like how they play. I like their lovely yellow kit, and yeah, they've got a bunch of young players. I've met a few at Diskin events, and I'm gonna take them over Zurich. They may have mixed a focus with their Euros bid. So let me go Solar Bang here for the win.
Noah's going with the bangers. Okay, Noah, let's take it out of Switzerland and move back over to the U.S. It was in Virginia Beach Pro Champs. Probably the biggest non-nationals tournament. Like U.S. Open's a big one, but this is later in the season. Smaller invite list, basically top 8 teams in all 3 divisions. While we were playing and producing at UK Nats, this was going on, but obviously we nerded our way into ULTI World to be able to watch a bunch of games. I saw a pony truck Saturday night highlight or showcase game that was a humdinger. Pony came away with that one. But the big story is the 3 champions happen to be the same champions that we had at US Open. And what does that set us up for, Nono?
Well, looking like some teams might get triple crowns, Steph. Triple crowns. It's Fury in the in the women's division. It's Revolver, a team finding form of previous generations. In the open division, and in the mixed division, Hybrid off national championship, of course. Looking real good in mixed. We'll take you through those games a little bit. Machine met Revolver in the final, and I think Machine were their own worst enemy in that game, Steph. Some real bad short field turnovers, especially when going downwind to give Revolver some easier break opportunities. I thought on the Revolver side, Matt Heck continues to look like the best center rock handler in the world right now. I thought Jason Valley, who people will be familiar with from his time playing with Hrut, I'm not sure if he's making the journey back over this year as well, but he was really good. He is. Alongside other Americans like Anton Orm, who's coming over this season, right? But he was anchoring a lot of the D-line offense, trying to get the disc every other, trying to keep the tempo really high, and was doing so without making many mistakes. I thought he had a great game. Of course, Mickael as well.
Daniel Rithaler, the other one who's coming over to Groot, and I thought that he was quite good. Kind of put him on an ISO cam to see what his game was, and he was picking up the rock a lot on turns. He was the defensive initiator. A lot of great parts for Groot. You talk about 3 players on the best team in the U.S. coming over to join Groot, who have been moving from strength to strength. Pretty awesome. Very few teams have got this triple crown. 2 Revolver teams, I think 2017 and 2013, but don't quote me on that. I can find out soon. Have done it. There's been a Fury team that has done it in the past. There has been a mixtape team that has done it in the past. And I believe that's it. 5 iterations or less. Let us know in the comments or chats if I got that wrong while we're working it out. But yeah, I mean, the Revolver are back. I mean, I remember when they slid off, it was like almost sad, but kind of like, all right, we need somebody else to win. But, you know, they take a couple of years off, and goodness me, are they a force to be reckoned with. You said it, Mac Hecht had 4 assists in the final. I thought on the other side, Rutledge Smith was good. Paul Arders probably had the best game I've seen him have in quite some time. That hammer to McGuckin was awesome. It was good to see McGuckin out there goal and an assist. I think they really, of course, missed Don Demarais. You know, it sucked to see him out. That's 2 last games of the tournament in a row he couldn't play. At US Open, it didn't matter as much playing with Moon for a bronze, but here to not be able to play in a final, I'm sure it would have hurt him. But I do like the responsible decisions he's making and recognizing what the most important parts of the season are. And as much as you want to win now, you definitely want to win the championship more. And I think taking himself out and resting the glute, you know, acknowledging some strain was the right idea for Don.
And talking about winning a championship, how good do Hybrid look? They look just the pick of mixed ultimate right now. I think they're getting continued great performances of Nathan Champeau, obviously, who played with the American Open team in the Gold Coast. Rachel Mast had a fantastic game. Maddie Simcoe has been one of the best players in the mixed division for a long time. Yeah, they were getting lots out of lots of different pieces of their roster, Steph. I think they have a real potency to their match defense looks that I think, took slow out of their flow, made it hard for them to get resets, and had people bidding on unders where they didn't quite expect it.
Yeah, 15-9 win in the final is convincing. You said Rachel Mass, she had 2 blocks, as did Liliana Hobday. Jonathan Mast also with 3 assists and a block. Thought he was awesome and influential. Dalton Smith, a goal,
Dalton
2
Smith.
assists, and a block. So big time. And you're like, they're just, I don't want to say cruising through these tournaments, but getting stronger as they go, leaving their best performances for last, and doing all the things that championship teams seem to do. So, yeah, I mean, I would be surprised for them not to win the Triple Crown. They look like super favorites to go on and take that one in San Diego in a few weeks' time.
It's an interesting one, Steph, because all of the data we have in mixed and open this year says we've got clear favorites. All the data we've had for the last 8 years has told us that different teams win pretty much every year, that there's upsets pretty much every year, and that we really don't know what to expect. I think it's a slightly different story in the women's division. I think slightly less parity there, in big part because Fury are just so good, so deep. Players who are like 10th, 11th, 12th on Fury are in the top 30 players in America. They were awesome. Tell me about players that stood out to you in that game against Riot in the final, Steph.
I mean, KJ, right off the top, 7 positive stats, 3 assists and 4 goals. She's moving from strength to strength. I thought, in London Invite, I thought she was the best female matching player on the field for USA World Games. She didn't go. She was an alternate. I mean, she was there. She didn't play. And I think, there's been some talk about the Christian Boxley Revenge Tour. This season may well be the KJ Revenge Tour. She's kicking ass and taking names. Anna Thompson, 4 goals and 2 blocks. I always will shout out Scazzi. Scazzieri is a goal-scoring machine. I always talk about her speed and how well she does upfield, her anticipation, her... she's got a great first step and just like eyes on the back of her head. She cuts, still running upfield and knowing exactly, like she hears the clap of the disc and she cuts and takes corners. But she is also winning some aerial battles against bigger people, just using her body position really well, boxing out really well. So big shout out to Scazzi as well. Heck of a game for her, and her season continues.
Quick, let's finish with a prediction here, Steph. How many teams of this bunch of 3 will complete the Triple Crown?
2.
2.
What do you say?
I love Fury and Hybrid a lot. Do I back Revolver?
Those are my 2 as well. I think Revolver can get knocked off. I don't think the other 2 can.
I'm going to be boring, and I'm also going to say 2, unfortunately.
All right.
I just think it's 2. There's been different winners for the last 7 or 8 years in the Open Division, and it's hard to bet on one individual team.
Just before we do end things off here, because we're just 2 minutes over, Riot is a great story this year. They have come back against all odds. The Seattle Youth Program is being injected. The elder statespersons on Riot are taking the reins. It is Jamie Eriksson's coming out party. 3 blocks, a goal and an assist in the final. Nor Luloff, I believe, is the youngster. 3 goals and a block. Chloe Hakimi, of course, we know what she's capable of at the junior age and seems to be fitting in seamlessly. But and so many more. Carly Campana was awesome. Lanya, there's so many that deserve shout-outs. They played well. They opened up really well. They were up 4-2, 2 breaks to none. And then Fury started being Fury. Got the next 6 breaks in sets of 2 at a time. So 3 times 3 goal runs, and that was enough to break the back. But shout out to Riot. They are a program on the rise.
Shout out to Riot. They're going to make a challenge for those WOC spots that we've been talking about in Swiss and the UK. But, of course, the US will be playing for those as well.
Well, that is going to do it for this week on Shot for Goal, your wrap-up of what's happening in the world of Ultimate. It's been a pleasure to have you with us. Make sure you do all those things, like, subscribe, and be a member. Next week, we've got a special guest on the show with us, Elliot Bonnet, going to join, give some insights from World Games and some excitement for the European season moving forward. But for Noah Brinkworth, I've been Stefan Rapazzo. Thanks so much for joining. We'll catch you all next time.